Back here on Insight for some final thoughts now with Dave Harrell, President and CEO of Visit Quad Cities. So Dave, let's talk a little bit more about the economic impact of the summer events. We just mentioned quite a few of them. What about summertime is it around here that makes the Quad Cities so active and obviously such an important part of our local community?
Well, I think it's multifold. I think first from a tourism perspective, just having some events and that programming in all of our communities is vitally important. Whether it's large-scale events like the John Deere Classic or the Quad City Times Big 7, Rag Bride, the Mississippi Valley Fair, to events like Mercado on 5th, right? To the Truckers Jamboree in Walcott, yes. Right? To Pops, to Bix Jazz Fest, to, alternating currents. You start going through the list of events that we've got this summer, and it's chock full with something for everyone. And that's good because you want to have that diversity in terms of the events that you're offering, not only visitors, but the people that live here. So it's critically important that you have a very healthy portfolio of events, and we need to support those. It's good for tourism because as people are coming here, hopefully those events are inducing them into the marketplace. But it's also delivering an event experience, for them. And so you want to make sure when they're coming into the Quad Cities that there's a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, they're going to stay in a hotel. Yeah, they're going to eat in a restaurant. But while they're here, what are the things that they can connect to during their time? And that's what is important when you're trying to sell, when you're trying to market, when you're trying to promote. You want to have a landscape of events that is across the board. And we're really good at that. Summer is important to us because we need to drive that non-resident revenue. We got to have people coming in here, injecting money into our community. Hotel occupancy, critical for success. Sales tax, gaming revenue, gas, small business impact, all of the things that go in to putting our regional visitor economy in a position to be successful, all of that has to flow. And if it doesn't, then you're not going to see a summer that's going to yield the results that we want to see.
Certainly. Yeah, we're looking at the Visit Quad Cities website right now. If you go on there, you will see just the wide array of events, as you just mentioned, that the Quad Cities has to offer. So who does that bring to the area? We talk about it being so important to bring those different people to our area. Who do we see come here on a summer basis every year?
It runs the gamut, right? So if you look at the demographics of it, we kind of know what our visitor profile is, but we've got people, coming from like really that super, we call it like the super regional profile, which means that Midwest drivable marketplace. Our largest source market is Chicago suburbs, but Des Moines, Peoria, Bloomington. The DMA, which is really Iowa City, Waterloo, Dubuque, Cedar Rapids, that corridor. As far reaching as Omaha, you're not necessarily going to see people that are coming here from New York. I mean, maybe minimally, or Washington or Oregon, but that Midwest, feel. The fact that we're so close to literally 37, people within the Midwest sets us up very well for a drive-to, experience. So we're already seeing gains in visitation. We're seeing the market, start to recover from COVID, but it's also a couple-year process, okay? It is not something that you just like turn the light back on and, hey, we're back to normal. Right. We knew that this is gonna take a couple years, and I think hopefully by FY25, we'll get back to pre-pandemic, levels. But right now, the goal is how are we marketing? How are we advertising? How are we investing in event recruitment to bring those opportunities that are gonna bear the business results that we wanna see? But if we don't press on the gas, I'm telling you, somebody else will. Des Moines is, Dubuque is, Peoria is, Springfield, Illinois is, Minneapolis is. It's a hyper-competitive space, and unless we've got the resources to market, promote, sell, and go after events, we will get left behind. And so that's one thing we got to continually remind the community, whether it's the private sector or the public sector, you have to invest in marketing, advertising, event recruitment, or somebody else will. And then their economies will thrive and ours won't.
So what do we need to do in order to get to that point? As you mentioned, about a couple-year process for us to get to where we want to be post-COVID. What do we need to do in terms of the people that are here in the Quad Cities, in terms of helping the overall area along in that goal of getting to where we need to be?
Well, I think everybody needs to understand you need to take a step back and take a holistic approach to tourism. Tourism is economic development. Tourism also leads to talent. You know, tourism does so many things to drive an economic impact that we all want to see. That non-resident revenue is really critical because those dollars are being reinvested into quality of life, quality of place, the things that we want to see as local residents. And the public sector needs to understand that. And the private sector needs to understand that as well. So the business community, but then just also Quad citizens. You know, when people are coming into your community and they're not from here, you know, treat them with care. Give them a smile, shake their hand, ask them where they're from, answer a question. Whatever you do, don't say there's nothing to do here. That drives us crazy at Visit Quad Cities because literally, and we just talked about it, and if you go to visitquadcities.com, there is something happening literally every day. So we need that braggability. We need those local residents to talk about how great this place is, especially to people that aren't from here. Because that word of mouth travels fast. And we're trying to compete. And we want people to understand what we have to offer because we want to sell this place and we want this place to thrive. And that's our goal.
And we are well on our way to that goal. And it's thanks a lot to the work that you guys do.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dave, for the
Thanks.
time. Always appreciate it. We will wrap up today's show when we return. This is Inside.